It has been 10 years since Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 mysteriously went missing. Now, Malaysian officials say they have agreed in principle for a company to resume the search for its wreckage. The flight vanished while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in March of 2014, carrying more than 200 passengers and 12 crew members. Joining me now to discuss is CNN safety analyst David Susi. David, it is great to have you here for your expertise. You, of course, also authored the book Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, Why It Disappeared and Why It's Only a Matter of Time Before This Happens Again. So I want to ask you, David, this company, Ocean Infinity, is basically saying we'll do the search again, but the Malaysian government doesn't have to pay us unless we actually find something. I mean, what do you make of this no find, no fee proposal?
Well, it just tells me that they have a lot of confidence in the advancements that they've had in technology over the last 6 years or so. They did not have some things then that they have now. So they have a lot of confidence in this if they're going to make that huge gamble.
And I noticed the transport minister said that the search is going to be in a new area in the southern Indian Ocean. I mean, do we have any indication of where this new area for the search is going to be?
We really don't right now. They have said that they've expanded it. They're not going to be going back to where they looked before. They do have some new information, or actually, they don't have new information. They have new ways of analyzing that information, and they're very confident in what they've learned. But it's not only that, it also has to do with the way that they're going to search. It's much different this time, and they haven't divulged exactly what that technology is, but I have some suspicions it has to do with robotics. Their robotics have improved significantly over the last 6 years.
And, given that it has been more than 10 years, and this really is one of the biggest aviation mysteries of all time, can you help us understand what 10 years actually means in this context? In terms of potential movement of debris, the deterioration of the wreckage. I mean, it's really hard to imagine that a search like this wouldn't be infinitely more challenging now than compared to 10 years ago.
Well, it certainly would, and it's just the inconsistencies in that area of the ocean that would create the problems. That's why I'm really surprised that they're going to take on this search. It could be miles and miles and miles away from where it actually went down at this point, because that ocean moves a lot, and it would take that debris and move it in a lot of different areas. Not only that, but the bottom of the ocean is going to be moved and upset and moved a lot of debris on top of what's there. So again, it goes back to their confidence in their technology. I know that the robotics have expanded where they look at a wider swath as they go by, and they have unmanned vehicles, unmanned ships that can go out now. They can deploy ships that are don't even have a crew on them, and conduct this search with those robotics.
Yeah, and you've devoted so much time and research on Flight 370. You wrote an entire book about it. If we could just show the cover again. It says on the cover there, why it disappeared and why it's only a matter of time before this happens again. I mean, the last part of that title really makes me shudder a little bit. Do you still think it's only a matter of time before this kind of thing could happen again?
Yes, I still do. There's been some changes in the way that we track aircraft. They go on international and across the waters as far as this one did. The advancements, though, it still comes down to money. It still comes down to the fact that it's not mandated that they do that. Most carriers have done that, but there still are some carriers out there who haven't spent the extra money necessary to show exactly where an aircraft is at exactly a given time. And so there is still that possibility, although it's much more remote than it was when I wrote that book.
Yeah, and let's just also remind everyone again, this flight was carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members. That's 239 people who just vanished overnight. Can you talk to us about their families, their loved ones? I mean, do you think that most of them will be glad that a search might be resuming again? Or do you think this just ends up being, one more very painful episode for them?
Yeah, there's two sides to that coin, and they're pretty much split from the family members that I've been in contact with. Some are very glad, very happy that they can finally put this to rest. Others say, please let them rest in peace and let us all go on with our lives. So it's a very difficult time for them. But in general, I think they're going to get a lot of solace, and especially, during the search, it's going to be extremely difficult for them. They'll have to avoid it if they want to. But the fact is, regardless of what their position is, which school of thought they're in right now, if they do find some substantive information about where this thing is and what happened, they will all be relieved to have that information, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, really tough to think about all of those family members who never got any answers. David Susi, thank you so much.